Yo, today we're gonna blow up in one video using the easiest method that I came up with. I don't know why people haven't figured this out yet, but today I'm gonna show you the real way to make a viral YouTube thumbnail that will explode your channel. Most people try to grow on YouTube by focusing heavily on editing, camera quality, or production techniques. While those things can help, they're often not the main reason that videos get views. One of the most powerful factors that determines whether a video succeeds or fails is actually much simpler. It's just a thumbnail. By the way, if you want to help growing your YouTube channel, click the first link in the description to join my private community. Before anyone watches a single second of a video, they decide whether it's worth clicking based on your thumbnail and title. Because of that, the ability to create attention-grabbing thumbnails can drastically change the growth of your channel. Now, I'm going to tell you a secret that most channels overlook. A messy, imperfect thumbnail that catches attention will almost always outperform a professional, clean-looking thumbnail that feels generic. The goal of a thumbnail is not perfection, it's to stop someone scrolling. Most creators fall in the same trap. They look at big creators in a niche and try to copy their exact style. Over time, this leads to an entire niche filled with almost identical thumbnails. The colors look the same, the layouts look the same, and the titles are almost identical. When this happens, everything starts blending together. But what's not told is when viewers scroll through YouTube and see the exact same style of thumbnail over and over again, their brain stops paying attention to it. It becomes background noise. Human attention works differently when something new or unexpected appears. Imagine seeing something completely unusual in everyday life. Your attention would immediately lock onto it because it stands out from everything else around it. The same psychology principle applies to these thumbnails. When something looks different from everything else on screen, it naturally pulls attention. This is why unique thumbnails perform better. They interrupt the scrolling pattern. They create curiosity and they make the viewers pause for a moment to think what this video might be about. However, here's one thing you need to understand. Being unique doesn't mean making thumbnails that are completely overcomplicated. In fact, one of the biggest mistakes that beginners make is adding too many elements to their thumbnails. The human brain processes visual information very quickly, but it also prefers simplicity. When a thumbnail is cluttered with too many objects, colors, and pieces of text, it becomes hard to understand at a glance. If viewers cannot understand the main idea of a thumbnail within a second or two, they usually keep scrolling. Because of this, a simple structure tends to work best. A strong thumbnail usually contains a few key components. The first element is background. In many cases, a slightly simple or even a bland background works better. This is because it allows the subject to stand out clearly. The second element is the main image. This is the focal point of the entire thumbnail. The main image should be visually interesting, unusual, or emotionally engaging. The purpose of the main image is to create curiosity. When someone sees it, they should feel compelled to find out more. The third element is visual pointers. These are things like arrows, circles, or highlights, or even other indicators that draw attention to a specific part of the thumbnail. These visual cues help guide the viewer's eyes to the most important part of the image. The final element is text, although text is optional. If text is used, it should be short and easy to read. Look at this thumbnail, for example. It just says "copy me." This shows the viewer I know what I'm talking about, and it compels them to click because they want to find out how they can copy me. Too much text can overwhelm the viewer and make it harder for them to understand the thumbnail quickly. Often just a few bold words or no text at all can be more effective than a full sentence. Another key idea that creators underestimate is experimentation. YouTube is heavily influenced by numbers and testing. A single thumbnail might perform poorly, whereas another slightly different version may perform significantly better. This is why relying on just one thumbnail design could be a missed opportunity. Instead, what you want to do is create multiple thumbnails for the same video. Designing 4 or 5 completely different thumbnails allows creators to explore different visual ideas and approaches. Each version might highlight a different concept, emotion, or focal point. Once several thumbnails are created, they can be compared and determine which are the most clickable. Majority of the time, the best option is not the one that looks the most polished, it's the one that sparks the most curiosity. Gathering feedback and opinions can also be useful. Showing thumbnail and title combinations to other people can often help you decide which thumbnail is the best. Friends, online communities, creative groups can often provide good opinions on which one stands out the most. Honest feedback is especially valuable when the people actually judging the thumbnail don't know which one is going to be used. This helps remove bias and makes it easier to identify the strongest option. Another important principle to understand is the danger of repetition. If a creator uploads video after video using the same style of thumbnail and the results remain the same, continuing to repeat that approach will likely result in the same outcome. This is where many channels get stuck. They continue to make the same design choices while expecting the channel to suddenly skyrocket. What they don't understand is growth usually requires experimentation. Trying new thumbnail styles, different layouts, new visual ideas, or different emotional hooks can reveal what works inside their niche. Small adjustments can make a huge difference. Changing the image, simplifying the layout, or even changing the main focus of a thumbnail. This can completely transform how the viewer responds. Again, if you need help creating your own thumbnails, click the first link in the description to join my private community where members can share their wins, grow together, and I give one-to-one help daily. The process is similar to running experiments. Each video provides new information about what works and what doesn't. Over time, patterns start to appear, and you realize that some thumbnails get more views than others. When you pay attention to those patterns and adapt your approach, your chances of creating a viral video increase significantly. The key idea is simple. Attention is the most valuable resource on YouTube. Thumbnails are the gateway to that attention. They determine whether someone keeps scrolling or decides to click. Creators who focus on consistent experimenting, simplify their designs, and focus on grabbing the viewer's attention give themselves a much better chance of breaking through the noise and reaching a much larger audience. That's what I've got for you today, but hopefully you learned something new. If you did, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.